Hello and welcome to Behind the Bearcat. This is the podcast where the Northwest Missouri State University Career Services Office chats with Northwest faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends to hear about their career journeys, how they got to where they are, and how they became Bearcats. I'm Northwest Internship Coordinator Travis Klein.
And I'm Hannah Christian, the Assistant Director of Career Services. And on our podcast today, we have a Kansas City, Missouri native who is a broadcasting major here with a video emphasis here at Northwest. And she is one of the 4 stars of My Bearcat Life. You can find that on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And also, I guess she likes to be called a vlogger. But anyway, please welcome Courtney Rowe.
Hi.
Welcome.
So, hello, Courtney. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty swell. I actually just got put in quarantine, so it's been kind of a boring day. I know.
Well, that's kind of been a fact of life for many people here.
Yeah.
Not just college students, but also the high school, the Maryville High School. I mean, this is going to air later, but Maryville High School just got put into blended classes. And Travis is very excited about this, I can tell.
Super excited about that. Yeah. My daughter's a sophomore, so yay.
Anyway, so let's go way, way back, Courtney. Let's go way, way back to young Courtney.
Yes.
And her very first job in Kansas City, Missouri, right? You grew up there. So what was your very first job ever?
I actually didn't work like a normal retail job or anything. I actually worked I've been a dancer since I was 3, so it's been like 16 years now. And I worked as a model / actress / dancer for an agency in Kansas City, as well as in New York. So I would do some traveling as well. And I just did all kinds of stuff, commercials, short films, just dancing for people. And that's pretty much all I did. Dance took up most of my time.
That's actually, this is super cool. I'm very
First
excited
child
about
star.
this.
Yeah.
So what do you, talk to me about those. Like, what was it like to do that? I'm sure some people would love to know what that was like. So,
it was so much fun. I still do a lot of that stuff now, but when I was younger, when I was really young, I was all into dance. I did a bunch of competitions. I would train every single week for a lot of hours, like 24 hours a week, and I would just train for competitions and win trophies. I used to display all my trophies in my room, but now they're sitting in the back of my closet because there's just too many. But then I started getting more into acting, and then I would do the school plays and stuff. And I would also make my own movies. I used to have my own production studio when I was like 10, and I would take my parents' old camcorder and then start making movies. And then I got my first laptop. It wasn't really a laptop. It was more like a little tablet that could transform into a laptop. And I found a video editing software on that. And that's when I started to cut them and add effects. And I was doing that when I was really young, like 10, 11. It was great. I hate going back and looking at all of those because I just cringe. It's awful. But I'm glad I didn't know what YouTube was or how to post things on YouTube, because no, those would haunt me. But I would do that. And then once I got a little bit older, going into high school, I was found by a modeling agency, and they kind of took me and they put me in this program, taught me about all I needed to know when it came to castings and all that kind of stuff. So then I got more into modeling. I've done 9 runway shows across the United States. It's really fun. Runway is my favorite, but since I'm so short, I don't get to do it as much as I would like to. But yeah, I'm super excited about doing that, and then doing acting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing my whole life.
So obviously video production or video components, video things have been interesting to you your whole life at this point. So tell me how you found Northwest. And why you chose that major, because you've loved to do that since you were young, but talk to me about how you found Northwest.
Well, I actually didn't want to go to college at first. Like I was very, very adamant about not going to college because I already had I already had a stable income from dance and modeling and acting. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to move to New York, work full time as a entertainer, and it's going to work out. And my mom is a very organized type of person. She's like, I need a plan for everything. So she wasn't too keen on me just going and leaving. So she kind of talked me into going to college, and I was so adamant about not going. I had the worst attitude, but she was like, you know what? I went to Northwest and I really enjoyed my time there. So I kind of looked into it more. I applied and I went to my broadcasting teacher because I was in broadcasting throughout high school. And I kind of talked to her and I was like, what do you think? Like, where do you think I should go in order to pursue broadcasting? And she agreed. She was like, Northwest has such a good program. I would strongly advocate for going there to pursue broadcasting. So I got my acceptance letter, and then, that was set in stone. When I first came here, I was like, I'm not going to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm going to, go through the first semester and then I'm going to drop out. At least I tried it, but I ended up really, really liking it. I liked the program. I loved being on KNWT, which is the broadcasting show, or the broadcasting thing here, and I really liked it all, and so I'm back for sophomore year.
So I just want to say, Courtney's mom, I'm sure you'll probably be watching this at some point. I want to give you a big high five, Courtney's mom. I'm right there with you. You did a great job. So talk to me about KNWT. So that's at the broadcasting studio. So as a freshman with a bad attitude, talk to me about the first couple months of class. What was going on in class that changed your mind?
Well, I have to say it really kind of changed when I went to SOAR, or not SOAR, but at SOAR, I went in and they had all the tables set up because, Corona wasn't a thing. So everyone was all in the auditorium, and I went past Will, who was the manager of everything KNWT, and he had a few students there. And I was like, hey, I'm doing broadcasting. Those are the broadcasting kids. So might as well, meet them. And they were very welcoming and just super nice to talk to. And I was like, okay, maybe it'll work out. They took me to tour the broadcasting mass media truck, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And
that truck is cool. That truck is cool.
It's the coolest thing. You were right. Yeah.
Yes. Once I actually got to school, we had Freshman Advantage Week, and we kind of divided amongst our majors. So all of the mass media kids were in this one room meeting all of the mass media professors, and I knew he got to talking about all the shows that you can do and how you can input your ideas to make your own show and do all this stuff. And I was like, I think I might want to be a part of this. So after he was done talking, I kind of stayed back and I went up to him and I was like, hey, I've been doing this my entire life. I've been doing this all through high school. I have a lot of experience, and I think I'd be ready to work as soon as we start classes. I think I could honestly pull it off. And he goes, shoot me an email. We'll talk about it, whatever. So that night I was so eager. I was like, hey, I am that girl that stayed and talked to you afterwards, the crazy one. But I am super excited. I really just want to start working, even if it's just behind the scenes, getting to know how you guys run shows here, because I really think I could be a valuable member to the team, and I'm really ready to work for it and show you what I can do. And from there, apparently he had showed the email to his practicum class where they actually produce the shows, and he shared it with them, and a few of the people picked me up from there. They texted me and they're like, hey, we saw your email. And I was like, oh no, they all saw my ranting and excitement through the screen. But they picked me up from there, and I got on a couple shows my first semester at Northwest, which was really cool.
So what were you doing? What were you doing on those shows?
So I worked for a show called Story Behind the Story, and I was hosting for that. And then I also helped with a show called Nerd Mageddon, and I just kind of helped with filming and whatever they needed. And then I also got onto Channel 8 News, which I was an anchor, or I still am an anchor for. So I'm anchoring that show and hosting another show and then helping behind the scenes. So I got to do like kind of everything.
And it's unusual for a student to do that first semester. Usually they make you take that intro to broad up class first semester, and then you can do it second. So you reaching out, you were able to fast track that. So good for you to advocate and do that.
Yeah. Honestly, like that would be my biggest piece of advice, because a lot of people have come to me that are older than me and they're like, how are you hosting 2 shows and you're only a freshman? Like, I don't understand. And I was like, you just got to reach out. You really just got to make those opportunities for yourself. You can't just wait for the opportunities to come to you, because sometimes they won't. And I really, really thank myself for, getting the nerves to go and reach out and ask, because I don't think I would be where I am. I would not be where I am right now if I hadn't reached out that first day. That's
super great advice right there. So talk to me about, so now that you're a sophomore, talk to me about where are you going? What do you want to do after you graduate from here?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, I have no idea. I really my dream jobs, I have a few. My dream jobs, because I love hosting and I love interviewing, would be to work for Nintendo, because I'm a huge gamer, I'm a huge nerd, and they have this thing every year called Nintendo Treehouse, where they just sit down and like talk about video games. And I would just love the opportunity to work for a company I love. Honestly, any video game company that has people hosting, I would love to be a part of that, because I'm such a nerd and talking about video games makes me so happy. That kind of stuff.
What's your favorite video game?
Oh, my favorite video game series of all time is probably the BioShock series. I love the story. And because I love producing like movies and stuff, I would love to make a movie based off of the video game series. I think that'd be so cool.
That would be cool.
They brought G4 back and they're looking for talent, so you could possibly work for G4. That was trending on Twitter today, was G4 needs talent. So,
well, I'm right here.
There you go.
And if it's not something hosting and more on the production side, I would honestly love to make movies. I love screenwriting. I've been writing scripts since I was really little. I'm not even kidding. In elementary school, I'm very embarrassed that I did this, but I would make people audition to be in my plays or my movies. They never happened, but I would write this entire script for this entire movie or this play or this musical, and I would hand it out at recess and just make people act. And I would love to do that, like directing and screenwriting and even acting. I would love to produce movies and films.
And we have a couple of alums who were here when I was here. I was also a broadcasting major, but I was on the radio side, so we were the unpretty people. But there were several TV people that went on to film school and now work in film. So you probably know like Justin Ross and Eric and Bobby Gum. And there's a couple of really high profile folks out there in LA that are Northwest alum that you could probably get connected with through Will, because we were students at the same time as well. So yeah, that's attainable. That's something you can absolutely do. So.
Yeah, I would probably just reach out to them on LinkedIn or ask Will about it, because, Northwest alums typically like love to have baby Bearcats reach out to them, like current Bearcats reach out to them and just say, hey, I love your field. I love this. Look at some of my work. I have lots of portfolio items, which speaking of which, so talk to me about my Bearcat Life. So how did this come about?
So all freshmen are required to be in the freshman seminar class. And I'm assuming this is like a basic thing that all of the seminar classes had to do, but we were divided up into groups and we had to kind of decide what our project for the class was going to be. And I decided to do what I do best and produce a series of videos. Now, I'm also a Girl Scout, so I was at the time working on my Girl Scout Gold Award, which is like the equivalent of the Eagle Scout, so it's like the highest award you can get as a Girl Scout. And for my Girl Scout Award, I was going to make a series of videos kind of as a preparation guide for finals week for college students and high school students, because during finals week, the suicide rates, like they go up. So I offered a survival guide talking about sleep, nutrition, all of that good stuff, and how those factors factor into your mental health, and how, you know, if you are aware of those things, know what, like, do what you need to do, you'll succeed during finals week. And it's always easier to hear it from a peer rather than someone who's older than you, because that's just how teenagers work. So yeah, I did that for my gold award. And so I figured I'm going to incorporate that into my seminar class. So we had to present our projects to a panel of judges, and, or not a panel, but they walked around, they judged everybody's little projects that they did. And I had a couple people come up to mine. They were like, yeah, this is really cool, whatever. And I ended up winning an award for like being one of the highest ranked projects, but that was really exciting. And then one of the ladies offered me a job working for the Student Success Center, and that was like super cool. And then a couple weeks later, Todd reached out and was like, hey, I saw that your series that you did for your seminar project, and I think, you know, I have this idea for a vlog series at Northwest, and I'd like you to be a part of it. And from there, we kind of just had some meetings, and it was set in stone that I would be hosting along with Abram Schaefer, and we kind of paved the way for My Bearcat Life.
So what do you do on My Bearcat Life for those people who haven't seen it or even knew about it before now?
I just do a lot, everything. I do everything. I reviewed a video of hot wings, as we talked about, which hot wings were the best in Maryville. And I, you know, did some spring cleaning. I do talk about some tips for being in quarantine or studying from home during these weird times. Just everything, whatever I'm feeling, that's what goes out.
So how often do you post?
I post a video once a week.
Very cool. Oh, sorry, Travis. Whenever you take breaths like that, I thought you had a question.
Right. No, I do actually. So you mentioned like Todd Weddle reached out to you. We had him on season 1, so I'll link up in the corner. We'll have his video linked there. So you were really one of the founding fathers or founding mother of My Bearcat Life. So that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's super cool to be a part of it, because it's like, I'm going to leave this whole legacy on Northwest.
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead, Travis.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh. I was going to say, so what other kinds of tips, tricks, or wisdom do you have for students who maybe, like you said, you had upperclassmen reaching out to you? What if I'm a freshman and I'm going through this first semester in quarantine? It's kind of rough. Like, what advice would you give me?
Just in general, or about anything in specific?
Maybe how do I find how to get involved? How do I find how to get like a job maybe like yours, or find out where I get plugged in at? You seem to get plugged in really quickly. How can I find that if I'm not quite so on the ball there?
Yeah, my biggest piece of advice would be to find what you're passionate about, find what you like to do. For me, that was making videos. That's what I've been doing my entire life. It's something I've really enjoyed. And from there, I found the people who, you know, are the best at that here at Northwest, people that are known for that thing here. And I went and talked to them, made those connections. You just have to put yourself out there, show them what you can do, prove that you're willing to work hard for it, and create those opportunities for yourself. Just doing what you love and putting it out there and talking to people around you, it's gonna get noticed, and you're gonna find that those opportunities start coming in.
How can they get a hold of you if they want to, like, maybe if I want to learn how to edit videos, or if I want to figure out, like, just talk to you, like, see maybe how I can figure out how to get involved? How could I get a hold of you?
You know, I'm always on my email, on my phone. My social media is Spooky Roomba. So at Spooky Roomba, that's my handle for everything: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I made a TikTok. All of that good stuff. And my email is Courtney. Wait, what is it? I have so many different email accounts. Like Courtney Rowe Northwest. Okay, Courtney Rowe NW @gmail. And so I'm always on that stuff. And I love talking to people and just offering advice and being someone that people can open up to and let out whatever they need to, because, you know, everyone's got something going on in their life. And I think it's really important that everyone feels heard.
So you are in quarantine right now. How has that kind of affected people's maybe like mindset toward, you know, you're right in the middle, like you're doing shows, you're doing stuff. Now you're like, quarantine.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, so it's definitely posed as a bit of a roadblock. We were supposed to film my trailer for our first week of KNWT, like being back for Channel 8, and I won't be able to do that anymore. I also had to miss out on filming some other things for KNWT, and so it's just kind of been upsetting, but at least my Bearcat Life, I get to do stuff on my own and do it from the comfort of my home. So I'll be able to keep producing content there, but it is sad because I don't have the ability to connect with other people and make content with other people. So that does kind of suck a little bit, but you know, we're getting by.
Right. You mentioned dance. Is that something you've continued to do here at Northwest as well? Are you involved with the dance team or the different groups like that on campus too?
Yeah, I am on the Bearcat Steppers. It's my second year. I joined my freshman year as well. So yeah, I'm on the Steppers, which kind of sucks that we don't have football games yet, but it's definitely given me a lot more time to invest into making videos and doing what I love.
And what do the Steppers do if someone's not familiar with what the Bearcat Steppers are?
Oh yeah, the Steppers are the spirit squad here at Northwest. We're at all the games and we're always dancing, doing sidelines, trying to get the crowd involved and just show our support for the Bearcat athletics.
Awesome. So Courtney, tell me, what does it mean to you to be a Bearcat?
Honestly, being a Bearcat means a sense of community, if that makes sense the way I worded it. I feel like I always have someone to reach out to, whether it be a professor, a friend, someone in my class. I just feel like a sense of community. Everyone's willing to help each other out. I don't know if that's just my major specifically, but everyone is so open and welcoming, and they're always willing to use their talents and their abilities and show you how to gain those abilities for yourself. They're really good at teaching, they're really good at helping, and just some of the most selfless people I know.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So this is, maybe I should call it like your last hurrah. I don't know. It needs a name, but
The last word.
The last word. I've been giving everyone some space at the end of the show to kind of talk about what's on their mind, what's on their heart, what they want to share with the world. So have at it.
Oh my, that's big responsibility.
No pressure. Yeah.
Lately I have just been feeling down in the dumps. I know I personally struggle with a lot of mental illness, and I know a lot of people do. Like, I just think people are afraid to talk about it. So I definitely try to put myself out there and, you know, be open about it, because it is such a common struggle and people aren't alone. And I think most people feel alone when they get in that headspace. And I just want you guys to know, if you are struggling with that, you are not alone, and there will always be resources and people to talk to. You know, I'm here to talk to. Shoot me a DM. Like, I love talking to people, and I just think it's so important that you remember that this moment that you're experiencing right now, and all the pain, all the anguish that you're feeling in the moment, it's going to pass. And it's so hard. It's so hard whenever you're in that moment and experiencing that pain. But you think a year from now, you're not even going to remember how you felt in that moment, but you are going to remember the fact that you got through it, and you're going to know where you are now and how you persevered and how you can help other people overcome that exact same thing. And it's just, you got to stay strong. You got to stay strong. Reach out to people. It's so important. Don't feel like a burden when you go and ask for help. Don't think that you're weird for going and asking for help, because I know I would not still be here if it were not for therapy. I need it, okay? And it's not for everyone, but seriously, just reach out to someone, anyone. And I just really hope that, you know, you guys can get through this. I really hope that I can get through this because Lord knows it's been a rough few months now that COVID has hit. So find those things that you're passionate about because it really will help you get through it. Having your inner circle and having something that keeps you motivated. I think if I didn't have my Bearcat Life and I didn't have KNWT, I wouldn't know what to do with myself right now, especially during quarantine. I would get so lost. But having a goal and setting those goals for myself, having that thing I love to do, it really, really helps me get through it. And I incorporate it into my passion. I talk about, bringing awareness to mental health because it's something I'm passionate about and it's something that I experience and want other people to know is a common thing. So just find that thing that you're passionate about, incorporate it into your life, keep yourself motivated, set goals, and yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Courtney. We've really enjoyed having you on.
Thank you.
Yes, and if you haven't, definitely check out My Bearcat Life on YouTube. It's every week new content from 4 students here at Northwest Missouri State University. Really good way to kind of see what Northwest is all about if you're not super familiar with Northwest, or even if you are. It's a great way to meet 4 awesome students here at Northwest, including the very talented Courtney Rowe. So thank you so much, Courtney. That'll do it for another episode of Behind the Bearcat, and we'll talk to you next time. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed that episode. Don't forget to follow on your podcast platform of choice and on YouTube. Also, click the little notification bell on YouTube so you never miss an upload. And you can follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and we have a LinkedIn page.